This is going to be an interview with one of my students who actually managed to find a winning product with the first product he tried. So the very first product he tried was an immediate winner. And the reason for that was mainly the product research. So we're going to dive deep into why it actually worked. And the funny part about it is he doesn't really know what a good product is still. So he still does not identify winning products really well, and if he sees one, he normally misses them. However, how we do it in the program is I check all the products he finds. He finds a shit ton of products, and I have to check all of them to basically find the very best one. And for him, he had to have so many products in the sheet to even have one really good one. However, that one was extremely good, was a perfect product, and yeah, with that, he made around $200,000. So yeah, let's just jump into it.
Basically, in this video, we're going to talk about, I'm going to talk to one of my students. His name is Bo, and we've been working for quite a while now, I think like 7-8 months or so. And yeah, basically, we're going to talk about like your experience, what happened to you, and how things are progressing. And yeah, maybe you can also introduce yourself, tell your story a little bit, what happened to you.
Yes. Yeah, my name is Bo Westphal. I'm from near Cologne. And yeah, I met Mike a half a year ago, as you said. And yeah, that's how we went.
Yeah. So how did you, like, how was your experience before we actually get started, and what happened after?
Yeah, before we met, I had basically one store, but that was not performing well. So yeah, it was not that good. And yeah, after we met, it exploded.
So what do you mean by it didn't do good? Like how much did you make, or how much did you lose?
I made 1K in revenue.
In total.
I was not even profitable.
Okay. And over what course of time did you make that 1K?
1 month. Maybe
okay. 2. And yeah, and how much did you make since we actually got started?
I made, let's have a look. Yeah,
actually, you can share your screen.
Yeah, it is 250K in revenue.
Nice. Wait, share your screen for a second.
Yeah. So see it?
Yeah, good stuff, good stuff. Maybe scroll down a little bit so we can see the rest as well. Yeah, so you can see here 5% conversion rate. Don't go too low so you don't show the product. Yeah, you can go to the top again and maybe like refresh the screen. Basically, for you, it went pretty quickly that it did well. I don't know how many products did we test together till you find this one?
It was the first one.
Okay, so yeah, for you it was the first one, and what I can say already is your product was really good off the bat. Like when I saw your product, I was almost sure that it is a winner. It fit all the criteria really well, and also it was a good timing. The timing was perfect because it was basically connected to the lockdown in a way, and with the whole lockdown just starting out, people were a lot of like in that need for that product, so it did really well. That's one of the reasons.
Yeah.
But what do you think? What was the game changer for you? Obviously, before we got started, you didn't really make good money. What actually helped you to get those numbers?
Yeah, for me, the game changer was definitely the key understanding of that a good product really matters. And then you can connect it with really good ads. So before I was thinking about, yeah, maybe you can optimize your store and make some good profits. But yeah, just while optimizing the store, but I was not thinking about a good product. And yeah, so that was for me a good game changer.
Okay, so basically the kind of the shift in focus, the focus started to be on product instead of store.
Yeah, okay. Definitely product research.
Okay, actually you can stop the screen share. Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so you're saying product research, and there obviously before we started to work together, you did understand that like you need to have some kind of good product, but the focus was on the store. So what did you think was a good product, and what was like kind of unexpected for you that we did together?
Yeah, the whole part about product research was unexpected for me. at first I was like, yeah, just have a look for some cool, fancy looking product and just go for it, and maybe you will get some profit like everyone else does it. And yes, so this whole part of it was for me the game changer, and the crucial part about the ads.
Yeah, yeah. So what was different from the ad perspective? What was new there?
How do you mean it?
Well, what was new? What did you kind of learn about the ads,
Okay.
which also helped you?
The way of designing these ads, especially when it comes to scroll stoppers.
Yes, yes.
But
So you didn't understand, you didn't know that
I really
basically you need
underestimated the power of those. So
yeah.
and
So yeah, for you actually that was interesting. You can actually maybe explain that you tested a couple of different ads and what worked and what didn't work. Because for you found a really good scroll stopper which was fitting perfectly. Yeah, maybe explain the experience. How long did it take to find it, and how did it change?
Yeah, so at first I got around about 5 ads I tested on my first product, and yeah, it was going break even. So and you were like, no, just test some other scroll stoppers, and I was like, I'm not really sure this would work. And then I got another one and just switched a few clips, and then the whole thing yeah, blew up.
Yeah, so scroll stoppers, for the people listening, basically scroll stoppers is not the thumbnail. A lot of people think that that's what people mean. What I mean by scroll stopper is the first couple of seconds of the video, basically the first 3 to 5 seconds of the video. When you just watch the video, the very first things you see, and that's normally the most important part of every ad. It doesn't matter what you like, in which industry you're in, you mainly have to focus on that just to grab the attention of the person. Because normally, like 95% of every person on Instagram or Facebook are just scrolling around wanting to be entertained. They're not there to be sold anything. They're not there to buy anything. And just you basically have to make sure that people at least stop scrolling to see your ad. And the biggest problem, like the biggest mistake people do, is they start to sell in the very first couple of seconds, when in reality it's way too early. You need to first make them stop scrolling, and the selling part is going to be later in the video, in the product page, the price, everything. But before, you have to go step by step. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. But for you, what would you say were kind of the biggest learnings, specific things which helped you out to make those 250K? Because number is good, where there's for sure like room to improve here, and we're also going to like maybe talk about a couple of things which you need to do to get even to the next level. But yeah, what would you say, what's the key learnings here?
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, it was definitely having a good product and connected with really good ads. So
yeah,
like you said, you can have a shitty store and make a lot of revenue or a lot of profit. And these two things, so product and ads, were definitely, and how you fix it up and how you manage it, this was definitely for me the key learnings.
Yeah, for sure. And by the way, we didn't talk about that. How was the profit margin for you for the store?
The profit margin was around about 30%.
30.
Yes.
Okay, great. So why was it 30? Like what made it go to like pretty good number? Because 30 is really good. I already have in my in the back of my mind why you have that margin, but what do you think? Why is that?
So it is when you're in the testing phase with your product, you're just about collecting data. And then when you have the pixel set up right and it is warm and you have already some sales, then you can go broad with your targeting and on your audience, and this works super well. So and this was the fact I didn't know earlier. So I was always thinking about, you have to find some interests or target some specific niche or whatever, and wasn't thinking about you can go broad. So this was a big point. Yeah.
So first of all, what you mean by that is basically that after you already have the pixel, after you have a bunch of things going, then you can go broad. In the beginning, I wouldn't go super broad, but yeah. What I was thinking about when it comes to your profit margin was the average order value and the fact that like a lot of people were buying multiple. I think that was the key difference for you, which made you like the profit margin just go higher. And that's also a huge thing which people underestimate. They think they focus on the store, they focus on the ads, they focus on the product even, and everything works. But then when they forget to do a proper upsell funnel, then they have a huge problem. Because if they don't have right upsells, and for you it was the same product, as a matter of fact, basically you were selling the same product over and over again to the same person, that was the key difference in you making from like 15% to 30%. That's the thing what I would consider the game changer here. However, it was not only the upsells funnel for you, it was more the product itself. And that's why you mentioned like the kind of the product research, because when I saw your product, it was clear to me that this product, it only makes sense to buy multiple.
Yes.
And because it makes so much sense to buy multiple, that was already by itself a huge advantage. And in other cases, you wouldn't be able to scale this easily if you wouldn't have that. Because if imagine everybody would only buy one, cost per purchase is just going to be like constantly breaking even. And for you, with the same cost per purchase, you're going to be profitable, you know? So yeah, I would say that was a huge thing for you as well.
Yeah, I think so as well. So it was, it really makes sense to customers buy multiple of those. So
yeah, exactly. And so far, what would you consider kind of the biggest mistakes you did? What did you do wrong?
The biggest mistake I would say is focus too much on details when it comes to to things like the store. Awesome. And there's the product image is not that good, and then you try to fix it and fix it again, and it doesn't really change the conversion rate. So it's all about just set it up and start as soon as possible.
Yes. Yeah, I would agree 100%. And that's also a big, like for you, I remember that like you did perfect everything and it turned out well, but it took longer than you needed to, you know, and like it took, you just wasted like 2-3 weeks for sure, without testing the product, even though it will be much better and you would like make more money if you would have done it 3 weeks earlier. Yeah, I agree. For you, what would you say is kind of right now the biggest obstacle in between you and actually getting to 7 figures? Because like the first step is getting to the first like couple of 100,000. What is in between you and getting to the next level?
Yeah, the biggest thing for me is to have a clear mind when it comes to product research. I'm still struggling with this part. So I've not had this look for kind of good products. So this is why I need your help anyway.
Yes. Yeah. So I noticed that basically how I always do it with all of my students is I like you make a list with all the products you find which fit the criteria, and I tell you, okay, this is good, this is bad. And for you, what I've noticed is most of them are really bad, and it takes so long to find those like a couple of good ones. And that is the problem you have right now. However, it does not matter then much as long as you have that one really good one. And for example, you had a big list with almost all shitty products, but this really good one. And then that was okay. That kind of made up for everything. And you always have kind of two approaches. If you're really better at product research, you have to make a crazy like big list of all products you can find which fits like semi-fit the criteria. And then I'm going to look over everything and tell you, okay, maybe I'm going to see something which you didn't even know that could be something good. And that's like in your case. Yeah. And also then we also like basically need to constantly like talk about why the products are bad and why the products are good too, so you don't kind of make the same mistake twice. But you say basically that you need to be better at product research, as in you don't have an eye for products, or you don't know how to find them, or what's the issue?
I know how to find them, but the key issue is I don't have the eye for it. So I see a good product, and you were like, no, that's a shitty one. And I see another product, and just scroll by it and you were like, no, no, stop, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So yeah, on this I have to improve.
Yes, 100%. So I would say that that's basically like experience, you know.
Yeah.
It's more about finding like at least 4 or 5 winners until you properly understand what a really good one is. And for you, you just have this one, and now I think the second one is also doing pretty well. How is that doing?
Yeah, it's doing good right now.
Yeah, how much is it making?
In the last 4 weeks, 8K in revenue.
Okay, so it's starting to pick up basically.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that was the second product. Also, the same thing. It took you a long time till you found that one, but it started to break even. Like was breaking even for a while, and now it started to be profitable. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. 8K revenue or profit?
Revenue.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And for the ads, also it took you a while till you got used to it. But for example, I would say that you have like a good eye for the ad part. I would say that you do pretty good with like finding good scroll stoppers and interesting videos. And yeah, maybe also explain the learning curve there, how you go about finding a good scroll stopper, what you actually try to achieve there, and like what you look out for.
Yeah, at first it comes to your product, right? So you have to look at your product and just imagine what could be a good scroll stopper for the product itself or for the niche of the product.
Yeah.
And then just go for it on TikTok, Instagram, Google research, Pexels. There are sites with just good clips, and YouTube as well. And then you find those ones and just cut it together with an application or iMovie or whatever you're down to. Yeah.
But were your best scroll stoppers videos of the product, or was it just interesting clips in the niche which are connected to the product?
It was interesting clips in the niche, yes.
Okay, so not showing your product immediately.
I guess could work as well if it would fit to the product, if it's a really amazing product with a wow effect, or it solves the problem really, really great and you never heard about it. So I think then you can use it as well. But in my case, it was connected to the niche, the clip.
Yeah. And I've seen that's kind of the easier approach, because it's very tough to find a perfect clip of your product. If there's no clips out there, then you're kind of lost.
Yes.
You're basically going to be lost in not knowing what to show first, because all the clips you're going to show are not that interesting to actually make a person stop scrolling. So what you can kind of do instead of that is just find a really interesting clip from the niche and put that in the beginning of the video to just lure the attention. And if you, like, not your case, but let's say you would sell a cat product. You sell a cat product and you show the product immediately, that's one thing. And the other thing is showing a perfect cat related clip in there, which could potentially be connected to the product. For example, you show if you're selling some kind of cat food, you're going to show like a super funny cat video where it's like a cat like growling at the plate or something. Like, I'm just like going off the top of my mind, but something which is going to talk to the audience and also represent the product. So if you see a cat which is rolling at the empty plate, and it seems you clearly understand that it's super hungry, you show that first. That's going to grab the attention of people who are into cats, who have cats, whatever, and then they stop scrolling already. They're kind of into the video for a couple of seconds at least, and then you kind of reveal the product itself, and that's the second part. Yep. So yeah, I've seen great success with that if you don't have really good clips with having the product like off the bat already.
Yes.
Other question here, what would you say is your like goal for the next, let's say, 6 months? Where do you want to be at?
I definitely want to break the 1 million mark in revenue.
And profit-wise, what do you want there?
So I'm totally fine with 30%, but it could rise up as well. So
yeah, totally being fine with 30% is good. But for you, like kind of when thinking about the future now, what do you think is going to make you the most consistent in terms of having multiple products? Obviously, you're going to need to find a lot of good products, but what else are going to be the struggles you think you're going to face there as well?
A lot of mindset part. So you have to be clear and make a weekly plan. And this is what I started doing a few weeks ago. Before I was like, yeah, I need to test a new product. Let's do it tomorrow. No, let's do it the day after. And now I have a plan on a weekly or monthly basis where I want to just to test a few products.
Yeah. Okay. And
then just
on average, and on average, how does your like weekly plan look? How does your to-do list of the day structure? Like what do you do every day on average?
Yeah, so I have 2 till 3 products to test every week, and every week doing product research, so that for the next week it is clear for me that I have another few products to test.
Yeah, and that's good. Basically, you have like goal-oriented like to do. So it's really important that you have that. For example, 2 to 3 products. Okay, I have a deadline this week. I need to test that, and then you can microstructure, which I would also tell you to like. I would put that into the daily to-do list. Micro plan what you actually have to do today to get to that goal. So, for example, it would be create 3 ads, set up like 1 product page, get a new Facebook account, whatever. And then you can kind of micromanage and like really understand what the next things are. On average, how many products do you have to find to test 1 product?
I guess it's around about 5 till 10.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And that's already the improved numbers. Before that, it was way higher.
Before it was around about 50.
Yeah. But like on average, like the every day-to-day tasks, how much do you work? How many hours per day? Be honest here. How productive are you during those hours? And what specifically do you do?
Yeah, that's also really important. Being productive, not just struggling around and be on your phone, and just try to focus on the things and do it as quick as possible. And I'm working for, depends on the day and depends on how much I have to do. It's around about 2 till 6 hours.
Yeah. Okay, so after you're done, do you actually stop working, or you still sit in front of the laptop and do like unnecessary tasks?
What do you mean by unnecessary tasks?
Well, for example, like watching your like the numbers on Shopify go up, so like refreshing the screen, going on like Facebook ads, checking the ads constantly. Do you do that, or do you stop doing that?
In the beginning, I did it a lot, but right now no, I don't do it anymore, because you don't have to do it. It's just a waste of time. So it is enough for me personally when you refresh it, your Facebook ad account 2 till 3 times a day, and always have your numbers in mind, but not more.
Yeah. And what do you normally do during those 2 hours? You said product research, like 2 to 6 hours product research. What else?
Get in the products in the shop. So with images, the description, maybe some GIFs or whatever you want to have in your description as well. So this, and of course finding good clips for video ads or a good scroll stopper. Yes.
Okay. And then basically you focus on the like how long does it take for you to actually make a product page or a store?
A product page is store. When I start from scratch to build a new store, I can make it right now in 1 day.
Yeah.
So maybe 6 hours, 8 hours.
Yeah.
And just for 1 product, maybe 1 hour.
Yeah. Okay. So you did start to not be super perfectionistic and actually like do it the most necessary tasks, and then you're done.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, nice. And in terms of VAs, do you already have a couple of VAs?
Yes, I have two.
Mhm.
One is for the
And
support, and the other helps me with getting the products in my store and some other stuff.
yeah, okay. And do you plan on expanding that, or how do you want to do it?
Yeah, absolutely. Because then, yeah, this is a key thing when it comes to time management, and I guess it's super important to manage that as well correctly. And
Yeah.
when you start to expand, and when you're making more money with this, it just makes sense to me to get the work to the VAs instead
Yes.
of doing it by yourself.
Yeah, 100%. I would tell you the next thing you can outsource is going to be the store creation and product page creation. I would say that's the next move, because whenever you outsource something, you have to be really good at it. And I would say that you're pretty good at creating stores at this point. That's not your weak point. For example, I would not tell you to outsource product, like searching product at the moment, because you're not perfect at that yet. And first, you need to get really good at it to control them, and to kind of like when they make a list, like I look over your list, you have to look over their list and already can tell which product is good and which product is bad.
Yeah, that's the
So
issue right now. Yeah.
yes, so you need to have like at least 80% of all the products you put into the sheet approved by me. So if you reach that, then you can actually start outsourcing that as well. It's possible to outsource like some parts, just searching for the products, and then you kind of review them. That's also a good task, like a good exercise in general. But you have to keep in mind that it's like, to train a VA to do good product research is also going to take time, because you know how long it takes to start finding really good products. And the same it's going to be for a new person like a VA. It's going to take time.
Yes.
How long did you do customer support and everything completely by yourself until you got the first VA?
Just for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Okay. So we did it pretty quickly. I sent you mine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But for you, when you kind of understood the first time that this whole dropshipping thing works actually, like, and you started to make profit, how did that feel? What went through your mind?
It was blowing me away. So I didn't expect that huge amount in such a short time.
Yeah.
This was for a few weeks. I was so hyped, and now it's okay. So I'm calmed down, but it's really great. So
yeah. But would you say, like, what changed in your like as a perspective change when you finally understood that this is working and you started to make profit? Did anything change for you, or was it the same?
yes. So for me, it was like now everything is possible. So I did it once, and I'm pretty sure about me that I can do it twice, and another time, and another time, and again. So basically everything is possible.
Yeah. And that's always what I'm talking about. Like, you first have to find that first kind of initial success to keep going as long as it's needed, because it's very tough. It's very, very tough to keep going as long as it's needed if you don't see any success. Like, if you imagine you would have tested 10 products, 0 sales constantly, it would be very easy for you to quit dropshipping because you think it doesn't work, right? Yeah, and it's really important to have that like feeling of, okay, this just goes in a good direction, just to keep going there.
I think you always have to keep in mind it's a numbers game.
Yeah.
And don't be that much emotional to it.
Yes. And with you, for example, we went the approach of not testing, like not mass testing in the beginning, because your budget wasn't that high. And I told you, okay, we need to find a really, really good product first before we actually test like a bunch of products. Because with other students, it's totally fine to test. I would let them test like 5 times more of the products in your sheet, because they just have a decent budget, and they like those products could potentially work, but the chances are just lower. And with the product we selected, for me, it was like almost sure that this is really, really good. And that's also the reason why I pushed you to keep going after it didn't work for a couple of weeks. Like it was just breaking even, was nothing crazy, but I was very, very confident in the product, and I mean, it showed.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. But now, like slowly, you can start to go the mass test approach. You also said like 2-3 products a week. That's good. That's not like fully mass testing, but it's going in the right direction. And yeah, then you're going to start to outsource more and more and more. And basically, the whole mass testing it's very hard to do by yourself. For example, test one product per day. It's extremely hard to do by yourself.
Yeah.
And you have to make it easier to test the product than not to test the product. Because if you, for example, have a person who's going to already send you a list and bug you constantly, like a VA with product research, he's going to bug you, hey, which products do you want me to put into the next sheet? Hey, what should I do here? What should I do here? Then you are obligated to do it, and it's easier to do that instead of not doing anything. Then you just have to send it to like a store creator and an ad creator, and they're going to do the rest for you. And that's also going to be like pretty easy to do. And you always have to make the kind of the goal you want to achieve, for example, like 7 products a week. You need to make that goal easier instead of pushing through it. Like you don't need to like work like a maniac basically and go crazy about like the whole day. You need to like you work to actually test that one product every single day, no matter what. Then you're going to be burnt out basically.
Yeah.
But if you make your life easier and like have a bunch of people who are going to help you with that, it's going to be much simpler, and it's also more like fulfilling for you, because you can actually focus on more important tasks.
Yeah. Sure.
For you, did you said you work like 2 to 6 hours per day, and that's a pretty big like difference. Like what would you say is normal, like 2 or 6?
It's I guess more like 3 hours.
Okay, so 3 hours is like a regular day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And did your everyday life change throughout the whole dropshipping journey? Because did you work before we started, or?
Yeah, but mainly I was a student, and I
Mm-hmm.
had a semi job on a 450 euro basis. So
Okay, and you're not doing that anymore?
no.
Okay. So how did this impact your everyday life? Like, what do you do? Like, do you have more time to do other things, or what's going on in your regular life?
Definitely. It gives me definitely more time to do other things. So this is a huge part, and I can structure my whole day like I want to, and not
Yeah.
like somebody else want me to. So
Yeah. And like, how did you get into dropshipping as a whole? Like, when did you think about getting into it, and when did you actually get into it?
So this a few years ago, I had that idea, just start something, because I don't want to do that 9 to 5 job. It was in the early times in my as a student. Yeah, and then I started with trading, some stocks and all the other stuff. And this didn't really work out for me. And then I made my move to online marketing and ebooks and whatever and all this stuff. And then I considered drop shipping. And I was like, okay, I think this would suit to me. So, and then I started the first store, and I met you in the Facebook group in one of those.
Yeah.
And that's how it all started.
Okay, so basically, when you started out with dropshipping, did it seem different to you than the other business models, or was it basically the same thing and you weren't sure if you're going to keep going with it, and you just tested it out, and if it's not going to work, you're going to jump to the next business model like you did before?
I was sure it works, but I was not sure if it worked for me and how it really works. So, and this is why I needed a coach. Yeah. And I really want to do it because it is always a lot of fun to me to do those things.
And did you get some kind of coachings in the other like fields, like trading, you said also, or was that the first time with me?
Yes, I did. I had
Okay.
an online marketing, so ebooks
Mm-hmm.
and affiliate marketing, and but those coachings were not so good. Yeah, and I understood that business model, and I don't like it then.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that was the point. I was like, okay, I don't make some profit, I don't make some revenue, so I want to start something new.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you say that, because I guarantee you so many people think the same about dropshipping when they start out and they don't make good numbers.
Yes.
They feel like it's not fun to them. And whenever you kind of are struggling and it's nothing is really doing good to you, then you don't enjoy it as much.
Yeah.
And that's like almost what happened to you. The same thing with the ebooks, because it didn't work. If you would have made like a couple of $100,000 with that, I guarantee you would love that business. Like
Sure. Yeah.
you would also enjoy it. But it's also like for me, it's like very fulfilling, for example, to see that the product, like the test product, and it starts to work in the beginning. Like when I wasn't sure that every product, like I didn't know what I was doing in the beginning. Then when I started to get winners, it was very fulfilling. I understood that, okay, I'm good at the things I'm doing the right things, I'm going in the right direction. And that kind of almost brings the joy in it, instead of people thinking it's also the process, but because you see that you're good at it, it's also like a huge factor in
Yeah.
it making, like, it being fun.
Yeah. For sure. That's for sure.
Yeah. Okay, as one last question, basically, what would you tell a beginner? If you would talk to like a beginner right now, what advice would you give them?
Two advices. The first one is get a good mindset about it. You just have to realize it's a numbers game. Don't get emotionally attached to your store, to your product,
Yeah.
and just keep going, test new things and try out. And of course, you need some money. So I would not recommend someone with $300 to start with it. So
Yeah.
maybe have 2 or at least 3K
Yeah.
you can invest and then go for it. And the other two things is really focus on product research and the part of the ads. These two are, I guess, the most important. And yeah, you can
Yes.
also make good revenue with a shitty store.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for
I
sure.
guess these are the two advice I can give.
Yeah, I would agree 100%. Dropshipping is not a low budget business. Everybody's praising it as if it is, as if like you don't need an inventory, you don't need any upfront cost. That's why you basically can start with a couple of $100. That's not realistic. People who tell you that, it's all like I don't know anybody who started with actually like zero. I don't know those people. I've heard of those stories where people start making okay money with like shout outs and with like very, very low income things, and it takes like super long until they make some decent money, and then they start with proper drop shipping. But I think that if you don't have a lot of money, then get a regular job, get money, and then start with drop shipping instead of trying to make money with drop shipping. Because I guarantee you, if you're going to work full time, you're going to make more money than if you have $100 and do full time drop shipping, like a guarantee. Because in the first couple of months, if you have $200, what are you going to do? You're going to test like hundreds of TikTok influencers. You're going to post a bunch of products in TikTok and hope it's going to go viral. It's like it can work, but it's a very tedious process. You don't know what you're doing. You're not going to be able to get a mentor because you don't have budget. You're not going to get like proper help from the right people. You can just learn from like YouTube, and that's like in a lot of the cases it's not enough, especially if you're such like on a such tight budget.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with both things, and 100%. It just is reality. Everybody who's not going to tell you that, it's probably a lie. So yeah. But yeah, on that note, to everybody watching right now, if you actually want to become a student of mine and want to like schedule a free consultation session with me personally, you can do that. You just have to click the link below this video. You click that, you're going to be in a schedule with me personally. We're going to have a call and we're going to see if it's a good fit. If yes, we're going to start. If no hard feelings, we're not going to start, and we're basically going to go separate ways. So yeah, sign up for that, click the link below, and maybe see you there. If no, then see you in the next videos on YouTube. And yeah, Bo, thanks for having you. Really
Yeah, no
appreciate your
problem.
time, and looking forward to getting you to the next 7-figure mark.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, Rom. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Ciao.